Hello guys, this is Flying Dutchie, and welcome to my first ever video on this channel, Crypto Dutchie. And on my channel and in my videos, I want to show you guys what you can do with technical analysis and do swing trading. It can be long-term swing trading, but also a bit short time. And in my videos, I will show you how it's gonna work and what I'm gonna do. So I wanted to make these videos because I want to test myself. I've learned a lot of things in the last years, 2 years I would say. It all had to do with technical analysis, patterns, resistances, divergences, and so on, Fibonacci levels. And I want to try to beat the S&P 500 at the end of the year. And that means that I will update videos this whole year, maybe longer. Depends how it's going. Maybe I will go for real money, because we will start with a paper trading account of 10,000. And I'm already in 4 trades, and I am starting to do a 5th trade in Rolls-Royce. And I will show you why. Maybe another video or maybe something in this video. But this is one of my trades I'm in already. This is American Airlines Group. Yeah, we all know that the plane stocks were all going down because of Corona. No one was able to fly. And yeah, I think they will recover eventually. And not only because of Corona, but mostly because of technical analysis. We don't care about the news. We just only look at technical analysis. So the goal is to beat the S&P 500 for this year. So, and yeah, it's a nice way to test myself. To make videos like this, it will put myself to the proof. And it will force myself to make good decisions, because I have to show it to you guys. So, what I will do right now is talk about some things I'm looking for when I'm making a decision. And I will list these up over here. In this video we will just only go over the fundamentals of what I'm doing. The next videos will be about the trades I take and why I take them. It's very important that you can tell yourself why you are going in a trade. So the first thing I'm going to look for are patterns. And these can be harmonic, but also triangles, channels, head and shoulders. I don't know if anyone knows what that means, but it's very easy to find on the internet. So we will look for these things. And the next thing we will look for are supports and a resistance. And that can also be triangles, of course, within a triangle, but also horizontal lines. And there are also more things that can use as support and resistance, also Fibonacci levels. Now, after we are doing these things, we will look for divergences on our MACD and RSI indicator. Now, I will go over this when I talk about patterns in the support and resistance, then we will look at this. Now, when that is done, we need to timescale to the weekly and the daily. We need to look at both of these charts, the weekly and the daily, if we can find reasons to take a trade. Not only on one chart, I want two time stamps, the weekly and the daily, to line up most of the time. And now there are a lot of other things you can look at, candle patterns, but we will not go over that right now, I think. And also the trend. Higher high, higher low, or not. That's what you're going to look for when we are going to look for a trade. So that is our nice list here. Now let's just start with the first thing, patterns. Now on American Airlines, and don't get me wrong, I got this chart from someone else. I am also looking over the internet. I'm looking at videos from other YouTubers that go over stocks. And if I see something interesting that they found, I'm going to look at it myself, see if I can find the same things, and then make a decision on it. So what kind of pattern do we have? Here we have some sort of bullish cypher pattern. There are a lot of bullish harmonic patterns. You have ciphers, a bat, gartley, you have sharks, you have seahorses, there are so many things. but they are normally playing out around 60 to 70% if I remember correctly. And that's a nice edge to have when you make a trade. And especially when it is on a very long time scale. So on the weekly chart, let's take a look at the weekly chart here. I found this cypher. It went from X, $3 a stock, to A, $55 a stock. Just imagine if you would bought this stock over here, 2012, and just hold it. Then it made a retrace to 0.6. Now that is almost low enough to make it a complete bullish cypher, but we are not looking for the perfect numbers. We are looking for close enough. Normally you want to retrace B to 0.618. Now this is 0.6, that's good enough. And the cypher then goes up to the 1.272, which for this thing, oh yeah, now it's gonna pick something differently, but the 1272 is actually a bit higher. It's around 62 for this pattern. See if I can. No, I cannot really take it, I think. Also not going back anymore, isn't it? Now let me redraw this pattern then. So from X to A to B, 0.6, yes, and then to C. So it normally goes all the way up here to the 64. So it's not a perfect pattern, but that is fine. We are not looking for the perfect pattern, it's good enough. And then it normally retraces to the 1272. Now I have the magnet on, so it flinks on these things. So it will normally retrace to this point. And this means for this pattern that the price will revert back upwards. That is what this pattern is telling us. And what it has proven in history. That it's around 60 to 70% that happens. That's a nice edge to have, such a big pattern on the weekly time scale. It went a bit lower, but it went back up this resistance line, horizontal support and resistance, and it also went up from its own recently resistance line over here that is broke. And now it's trying to backtest it. And that's also very bullish when you have 3 higher highs. Of course, the long term on the weekly, it's not a very bullish trend. We are only going down. And here, lower low, lower low, lower low. Maybe higher, but lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Lower high, lower low, lower high. Higher low. Again, we still have a lower high, but we maybe are going to make another higher low here. So we have 3 higher points here, and that is somewhat bullish. So it could actually reverse over here. The stock is now very cheap, 12 to 15, 16, while it was around 58. So it's a very cheap entry. It's an area of value where you can take your long, right? So that is the first thing I'm looking for. The patterns, triangles, head and shoulder patterns, harmonics. So the support and resistance levels, the triangles and the horizontal lines, we just went over these. This is a resistance line, the price did not get lower. This is also a resistance line and now a support line, because the price bounced off it a lot of times. And now it's back above it. Well, it was under it, very bullish. So when we did these two things, we are going over the divergences. So if I double click, I open my MACD indicator and the RSI indicator. Now, what I'm looking for is to see when the price makes higher lows, well, my indicator tells me something else. That means there is a divergence playing. Now on the weekly, we don't see that, because we make a higher low, but the indicator also makes only higher lows. So there's no edge over here. Also there's only convergence. That's called convergence. It just follows the price. That's also okay, but it doesn't give me another edge. So what I'm gonna do now, I think I saw everything what I need to see on the weekly. We went over the trend. I don't see any big candle patterns, I think. There was a bullish engulfing candle here. It's trying to make another bullish engulfing candle here as well. When this body of the candle fully engulfs this one, that's a very bullish sign on the weekly. So maybe it's gonna make it. It takes 2 more hours for this week, apparently. Yeah, then it's weekend. It's Friday right now. So maybe we'll get an end on a bullish engulfment candle. That's very nice. Maybe it will open very high on Monday. But that's the candle patterns. Now then we go over daily. So we are time swapping right now. We are going to the daily. And the same here. What do we see? Do we see any patterns? Do we see horizontal support and resistance? Yes, we do. There was a big resistance here that is now maybe becoming support. It did not test it yet. Can still test it. But we have higher lows here, especially over here. And what do we see on our indicator? On the MACD, we see bullish divergence. The price makes a higher low, but the MACD is making a lower low. So according to this indicator, which tells where the price is going to, tells us that there was a very big negative momentum, but the price did not go lower than this point. But it was a very low negative momentum on the MACD, but the price did not go lower. That means that sellers are getting exhausted. They are trying to sell the price very hard over here, but they really failed in selling the price. It only went to here. That's indication that we go up. MACD is also starting to go towards positive again. So yeah, that's another point you can take for making a decision. That's what we find on the daily. Now, together with all what we found right now, how it went above the support, with this big harmonic on the weekly, with the divergence on the MACD on the daily, together with all these things we found, we can make a decision that we are going to go long on this stock because we give it more chance to go up than to go down. And when we are done with this, you're going to look at where you're going to enter, why you're going to enter, and when you're going to go out of the trade. And that is also very important. You need to be able to tell yourself, why did I enter? Where to take profit? Where to take my loss? And you put these on your chart and you will not change that. You have to stay with your plan. You need to have a complete plan before you start your trade. So this is the American Airlines chart, so you will already have an audit on American Airlines. And yeah, you can see it over here. I entered the trade over here. Because of what I told you the last 15 minutes. I entered the trade here. And I always want to have a 3-to-1 win ratio for my trades. Sometimes you can do 2.5, but only if you have more confident than normal. But I go to 3-to-1. Now, why do I take my first profit over here? Why not here or here? That's very simple. I want to stick below the resistance line and this B point. That's gonna be my first profit taking. Also here, we will start getting resistance of this stock over here. And I want to have my first profits in before we maybe retrace backwards. Now, if I reach this first profit target, I will put my stop loss to break even, so that the trade can only go further in my advantage. If I reach the first target, I cannot lose the trade anymore because I put my stop loss, the sell stop, on my entry. That can be risky. That means that you can be stopped out, but maybe you can enter again when maybe it backtests this line again with bullish divergence, and so on and so on. You just have to be a little bit careful actually. Now my second target is over here, because that is the big resistance line from this low, where the traders are settling at the end of the week. Not this wick, but the big candles over here. And it is also just below the 0.382 Fib extension. Now, what is that? From this high to this low. the price retraced to 38.2%. That is a Fibonacci level, and that is a nice Fib level. You just have to do your research on Fibonacci, but these numbers are respected a lot of times. That's going to be my second target. Now my third target is going to be the 0.5 Fib level. And my last target is going to be the 0.618 Fibonacci level. Now it would be very nice if we can reach all these targets, because then we make around 80 to 100% in total on our trade. And if we lose 20%. That means that we can lose 3 or 4 out of 5 trades and still make a profit. And that's the goal. We need to try to be profitable, and you just want to make sure that around half of your trades are actually working. Preferably you want more, of course. And we found our reasons. Our technical analysis found reasons to go long here. And I don't want to say much, but if you find such a pattern on the weekly time frame, sometimes it goes even higher to 70, or the 141 Fibonacci extension, or the 1618. So it's looking really good on this stock. Technically, I don't know anything about their cash flow or about whatever they are doing. I have no idea. But it looks very good. So there we go. And then I put these in on TradingView on my account balance of 10,000. I put 1,000 in this stock. I'm trying to get 10 stocks for $1,000. And I will try to be in 5 stocks all the time and have 10 trades going. That's what I'm gonna do. So you now got your audit over my American Airlines trade and why I went in this trade. And I will do the same for the 3 ones I'm already in. And maybe a Rolls-Royce that I'm looking at right now. And maybe I will go in this stock as well. Then we have 5 out of 10 trades going. Now in the future videos, I will keep giving updates if targets get hit. If I make a new trade, I will make a new video. Sometimes that can mean that there's a week in between. Sometimes everything happens at the same time. And yeah, that's how I'm gonna do it this year. And hopefully we will be very profitable. I think the S&P averages around 10 or 20% maybe in a year. I think it's 10. So if we have 11,000 account balance actually, then we beat the S&P. And then I actually proved, at least in 1 year, that technical analysis is better than just put your money in a stock and sit on it for decades. So that's what I'm going to do. I want to thank everyone for your attention. Please follow me over here, follow my channel, like the video, and make sure to join the Discord. The Discord will be on the YouTube banner and in the description of the video. And let's try to build up a trade community. Maybe we can do it. At this point it's empty, because this is my first video. And let's see where we will get together. Let's do this together, and let's prove that technical analysis is working. And if it works in 1 year, then I will do it for real money. So, I want to thank you for your attention, and hopefully I see you in the next video. Bye bye.